All right, guys, welcome back to another video. So week 13 of the NFL season starts tomorrow. We're getting toward the end. Matchups are more significant. We're seeing playoff alignments. Everything's kind of coming into form. It's all getting really exciting. So you guys know the drill. We do this every week, and then we look back on our previous week. And as always, comment your opinions on every matchup this week, who you think's gonna win. And with that being said, let's get underway with week 13. We're starting with Thursday Night Football, an AFC East matchup, a really good one between the Bills and Pats. The Pats need a win at home in Foxborough to stay alive in the playoff race. You know, they've done well against the Bills. Bill Belichick usually dominates this division, but it is a new era. They do well against Josh Allen most of the time, but I think Josh Allen will win this game on the road. Pretty close, but I think the Bills cover that -3.5 spread as well. I just don't see it. I mean, the Pats could win. Defense always is good, or usually is good. They could show up, definitely shut them down in a big spot, but I just think the Bills are the superior team, so I'm going to take them to win. We move on to the Steelers and Falcons. The Falcons, you know, they really had a chance to be in first place or tied in first place with the Bucs, but they came up just short last week. They faced the Steelers, who beat the Colts. Steelers getting some things going. Their offense isn't as horrendous as it was in the beginning of the season. Look at this incredibly close spread. Falcons are actually not even favored at home. I'm actually going to take the Falcons to win and therefore cover because their season's still alive and they've blown some games. I think they're probably better than their record, or there are a couple games they should have won that they didn't. So I think they know that their season's still alive with the Bucs playing not great, especially for a first-place team in that division being bad. The Falcons are still alive, and I think for that reason they're going to try really hard to win this game against the Steelers, a game they probably should win. Packers and Bears, I think Justin Fields is going to play. Early reports, he practiced today, which is Wednesday, in limited capacity. Aaron Rodgers, I don't know. Is Jordan Love starting? Are they going to shut down Aaron Rodgers? Probably not. Probably he's going to play. He owns the Bears. But the momentum, the signs, body language, the Packers season is basically over. So I'm going to take the Chicago Bears to win this game at home. Get some revenge on Aaron Rodgers. The Bears rarely beat him, but I just think he's vulnerable at this point in time. So I think Justin Fields and the Bears will get the job done at home. Jaguars and Lions, two feline teams. Look at this close spread. This is going to be in Motown. 2 4-7 teams, the Jags. My Jags coming off a thrilling upset win against the Ravens that raised my blood pressure, had my heart pounding, but an upset that I predicted correctly last week, and I'm proud of it. So, who wins? I mean, the Lions have played better recently. They won 3 out of 4, lost on Thanksgiving to the Bills. No shame in that. Jags, hear me out. Their season's not completely over because you'll see in a second, they're not completely dead in the division. They actually have a very small chance to actually maybe win this division. So for that reason, I think maybe the Jags are a little more motivated. So I'm going to take them to win and cover on the road. But, you know, that's not the main reason I'm picking them. It's because I'm extremely biased and just cannot be objective in every matchup that features my team. So, yeah, Jags win, obviously, right? Moving on to the Jets and Vikings. First of all, guys, so many good matchups this week. We will see them, coming up. Really good matchups. Jets and Vikings. Mike White, the legend of Mike White. What a game against the Bears he had. I don't think Zach Wilson is starting anytime soon, and he shouldn't, because that offense was actually watchable for the first time maybe all season. And they have a huge test going into Minneapolis to face the Vikings. I think it'll be a close game. I think the Jets defense will give Kirk Cousins a lot to handle, but it's kind of like last year when everyone was hyping up Mike White, that first game against the Bengals, and then he kind of declined. I have to see more to believe that he's really legit, but so that's why I'm going with the Vikings to win this game and cover, but I think it'll be close. And it wouldn't totally surprise me if the Jets won this game. I just think at home, the Vikings deliver a lot of firepower, and the Vikings are having a great season. So I think they're probably a little bit better than the Jets, but we will find out. We will learn a lot from that game for sure. Next, we have the Commanders and Giants. Giants have lost 2 in a row? Well, they're declining a little bit. Ton of injuries. Can't fully blame them. All things considered, the Giants have really surprised us this year. But how about the Commanders with Taylor Heineke? 7-5. They won, what, 4 in a row? Something like that. They're on a streak. They're hot. And you know what? I think the Giants have already peaked. I don't know if they're a playoff team. I don't think they are. I honestly think right now, with the Giants' injuries, their decline that was maybe kind of inevitable, I think the Commanders are a better team right now. I think they're going to go into New York or East Rutherford, New Jersey, and win this game against the Giants. Then we have a matchup between the Titans and Eagles, 2 division leaders. See, this is what I mean. The Jags have a chance to win the AFC South because they're 4-7, Titans are 7-4, 3-game separation. Titans are about to go into Philly, a game that I think the Eagles will win and cover. Revenge game for A.J. Brown. I just think the Eagles are a better team, obviously. Only 1 loss on the season. And the Titans, one of the more inferior division leaders. They're a good team, but I don't know if I trust Ryan Tannehill at all, not to mention on the road, probably in a negative game script where they probably can't really establish the run with Derrick Henry and get a comfortable lead. And the Titans struggle in those type of games, just like against the Bengals, right? So I think the Eagles win this game. And if the Jags beat the Lions, there's a 2-game separation. And the crazy thing is, the Jags and Titans still have not played each other. So they're going to play each other 2 times. So if the Jags win those 2, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, but it's mathematically possible. There's a slim chance, okay? Vegas has it at like -700 that the Jags win the division. So that's not crazy, you know what I mean? So anyway, Broncos and Ravens. Ravens coming off the upset loss to the Jags. There's concern in Baltimore, for sure, whether Lamar is worth the money. You know, should the Ravens sign him to a huge deal? But say anything you want, the Broncos are nothing. The Broncos defense is pretty good, but Broncos are a terrible team. Russ is terrible, okay? They're not winning this game in Baltimore. Maybe they cover the spread because their defense always keeps it somehow close. But I think they're throwing in the towel. I think they're done. I think the Ravens bounce back in a good way at home where they usually play better. And, you know, beat the Broncos by a pretty wide margin. Speaking of the good games, a game that you wouldn't expect to be good for 2 non-playoff teams, but guess what? Deshaun Watson is coming back. This is why the NFL's rigged. Deshaun Watson's suspended for exactly 11 games, only for him to come back against the Houston Texans in Houston. What an atmosphere this is going to be. This is going to be like LeBron coming back to Cleveland. It's going to be hostile, worth watching. You know, the Texans might be energized, but let's not kid ourselves. Deshaun Watson, this is a good game for him to maybe get some revenge. It's been so long since he's been in the NFL. I think the Browns win and cover. The Texans are a terrible, terrible team. The worst team in the league, definitely. And they just don't have anything to... I don't know. I think Nick Chubb's going to run wild, and I just don't see them winning, and I think Deshaun Watson's going to be energized. So I'm going to go with the Browns to win and cover. Seahawks and Rams. Rams, they're done. They're out. No Aaron Donald, no Cooper Kupp, no Matthew Stafford. It's just an absolute disaster. No more discussing the Rams this year. I think I'm just going to pick them to lose every game left. Probably. We'll see what's on their schedule. But Seahawks win and cover. They're only a game behind the 49ers. They are in this race, and they're going to go into LA and win because the Rams have no motivation to do so. So, Dolphins and Niners, what a game this is. Either this is the game of the week, or, I mean, it's a candidate for game of the week. This is a real test for the Dolphins. Is Tua really legit? He has not lost a game this year where he started and finished, but they faced a lot of inferior competition. This is a test in San Francisco against a perennial contender, division leader. Do the Dolphins win this game and prove that they're legitimate? I think they do. I've been on the Dolphins bandwagon, but I think this is a great spot for them to prove that they're actually contenders and for real. And I think they're going to do it. I think Tua's the guy. He's made those improvements. The receivers are great. The defense is good enough to give Jimmy G some trouble. Obviously, the Niners can win this game, but I just think the Dolphins have a lot to prove, and I think they're going to do it. I think this team is ready to be a contender right now and ready to prove it. Chiefs and Bengals, another great game. Rematch of the AFC Championship game. This time it's in Cincinnati. Both teams are playing well. Some of their best, probably their best football of the season. Does Ja'Marr Chase come back for this game? Signs are pointing toward yes. But I just think the Chiefs, I don't trust the Bengals secondary to stop Patrick Mahomes right now. That guy's been an absolute menace. I think he's the front runner for MVP. So I'm going to take the Chiefs to win and cover on the road. They're just too good. I think it's going to be a good game, entertaining, exciting. Joe Burrow won the last matchup, could win it again, but I think the Chiefs are just rolling right now. I think they're probably the best team in football at this very moment. And I don't think the Bengals are exactly a fearful defense for the great Patrick Mahomes. Chargers and Raiders. Raiders, great win in Seattle, but they don't really have a chance at the playoffs. Chargers do. Keenan Allen is healthy. I think Justin Herbert's getting healthier. I think the Chargers are starting to find things. They're very much in this playoff race. They need to win this game in Las Vegas, and because of that, I think they will and cover the -1.5 close spread. Colts and Cowboys. The Colts lost. I thought they were, after one game, we thought they were better under Jeff Saturday. They beat the Raiders. Not much, saying too much, but they beat the Raiders, but then they go on to lose back-to-back games, lose to the Steelers at home on Monday Night Football, a game that I did not even watch 1 second of, because why would I? They're going to get demolished in Jerry World to the Cowboys. The Cowboys are great right now. Their defense, they're going to destroy Matt Ryan. I'm surprised the spread is not larger, to be honest with you. Last but not least, another not great Monday Night Football matchup. Buccaneers and Saints, two difficult offenses to watch. The Buccaneers, it's a little bit better because it's the GOAT, right? But the Saints season's pretty much done. I think the Buccaneers win this game pretty comfortably and cover. Well, not pretty comfortably. I think they win this game and cover. The Saints do give Tom Brady some trouble because defensively they're still pretty good. But the Saints season's pretty probably over, even though that division, you know what? They're in it still, but I think they're a third-place team at this point. So I think the Buccaneers win this game and cover the spread because they need to hang on to that lead. And yeah, so those are my Week 13 predictions, guys. And before we go, we always do this. I've been on a slump, guys, but finally, I had a pretty darn good week for Week 12. There were no bye weeks in Week 12 because it was the Thanksgiving week. We went 12-4, which is our best week in a while, a long time. And that moves our overall record to 97-69, so pretty good. A big week, a big bounce back that we definitely needed because we went 7-7 in Week 11, and we were close to 500 most weeks before that. So a much-needed bounce-back week for us. Guys, make sure to comment your opinions as always. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're an NFL fan and you haven't done so already and you want some pretty decent football content. It's right here, baby. Thanks again, guys, for watching. And as always, I will see you all in the next one.